So, Robert L. Dean, I tell you, we got a good one today. Who do we have with us today?
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this young lady has graced us since I began to love her in 1989 when I heard GMWA with If I Couldn't Say a Word, I Just
Wave my hand.
Wave my
Usher.
hand.
Well, don't get
So
me
so
started.
some of you are Johnny come latelys.
Uh-huh.
I've been a fan since that day when I heard that LP back then.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all like, who in the world is this woman?
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, down the line, we started seeing her on MTV, on BET, and whatever V's you wanted to see her on with
Yes.
that optimistic song.
Yes,
Ladies
yes.
and gentlemen, she's an accomplished writer, songwriter. Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight and various ones have sung some of her music. She is an actress and she is on tour and she has had a long standing, wonderful career. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice herself, Miss Ann Nesby. Welcome to the Wake Up Morning Show with Dr. Otu
Good
and Robert
morning. Good
Dean.
morning. So glad to be here.
We are so excited
Yes, we
and
are.
enamored this morning to just be in your presence.
Yes.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. I'm just happy to grace your presence and to have you grace mine. I'm telling you.
Okay, so I'm gonna just jump right
Jump
on
right
in.
in.
Okay, I gotta start off with this one. I know there's a lot more before this one, but Queen Sugar, Queen Sugar, Queen Sugar, Miss
Yes,
Miss Miss Ann, uh, uh, did I see you in a negligee?
honey, they had it was after my wedding. It was after my wedding.
Uh
She
huh.
was
I,
celebrating.
and I had already wore white.
Uh
Right.
huh.
Already wore white. And
Right. Right.
it was in the honeymoon suite. So
Yes, yes.
that particular time was undefiled.
Okay, because
She preaching the word.
I wanted to tell you what I loved about your character was that I literally believe that you were that person.
Oh,
And
well,
and and that really blessed me because you still carried that dignity, you still carried that sweetness, you still carried that je ne sais quoi, all of the good stuff, but you drew us in. And I have been watching, I've watched the whole series, but it was exciting to me as a gospel aficionado to be able to see us.
absolutely. And that's why I love Queen Sugar. And it actually was one of the things that I um, spoke into existence because I would watch it. Um, I would watch it passionately, and I love the series every season. I said, Lord, now I need a show. It's
Mm-hmm.
my favorite show, and I'm going to be a part of that thing. And the next thing I knew, they were calling me. Said, we have a role, and it's just a short role. We just want you to come in and do. It's just one little episode, and I'll say, I'll take it.
Yes. Well, I
And
want you
I
to know
got
that
there. Yes, I
that
got there,
go ahead,
and
tell us.
it went from 1 to 9 episodes, and it
Mm-hmm.
was only by the grace of God
Yeah.
because you know how God works.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. And I love how the series ended, and it ended with the gospel song. The storm is over now,
Yes.
boy. I tell you, I got emotional. I was praising God of the presence of our music, and
Yes.
and it was like the storm is up.
Storm is over now.
Yes. So
Yes,
tell me
because I
this.
mean the lives of the characters, they had been through some storms and they had been through some trials, but it's just and when I first started going, I said I want to be the one to be talking about church and stuff in the episode and like uh shouting at church and carrying on.
Right.
So I didn't do that, but I was able to represent in the institution of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So I was excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm telling you, to see them tell a true story
Hmm.
of a people and a family,
Hmm.
and then to see real life people being down in New Orleans, people that had gone through what you were seeing, it was like art and life lining up, and black farmers, the plight of black farmers, and
Hmm.
then for them to end that story praising God
Mhm.
because they knew he was the reason why they came through and that they were victorious. As Optimistic said, they were winners.
Yes.
Yes. Now, I want to add this because I know. So, Robert, I want to start off by saying Robert Earl Dean is the Wikipedia of
Oh
gospel.
God.
He can tell you everything that you want to know. You could just throw out a random question. He gonna be able
I'm
to
just
know it.
sitting here in awe.
But this is the question I want to ask you.
Mhm.
You have been in the industry for some time.
Mhm.
Yes.
You have been an icon and a staple.
Mhm.
I just want to know how you keep your skin so pretty and keep yourself so
Cause
young
she's glowing.
because I'm looking at you and I'm
She's
like
glowing.
saying,
She's
I
glowing.
said, look at her.
She's glowing.
You know, okay, I'm gonna stop fanning out on you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop
It's
fanning out.
Jesus. It's Jesus and some Mac.
Come on. And see, she keeps talking about Jesus because people don't know,
Mhm,
but she grew up as a PK kid.
mhm.
Your father is a pastor, correct?
That absolutely still pastoring in the Macedonia Baptist Church in Rockford, Illinois, 89.
Wow.
Pastored there 50 years,
Wow.
and we can't even make him retire.
Mhm. So,
Can't
so,
make him retire, and he's not looking forward to retirement.
so when you walk into when you walk into Daddy's church, uh, how Daddy act when he see you walk in?
Well, we still stay at the house with my dad when we get home.
Uh-huh.
Once a year, the whole family goes home to celebrate him and his anniversary in June. And we stay together the whole weekend. And um, I'm I'm little Ann at the house.
Hmm.
So if there's any air that I think I have,
Hmm.
it is quickly taken down when I have to go and cook grits and eggs and bacon and
Come
biscuits
on.
for the whole family. And
Come on.
when we're there,
Hallelujah.
Come on.
Mm.
so by the time we get to church, everything is settled.
Yes.
And he is calling the family up to sing because
See.
I come from a family of singers.
Yes.
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 And you've produced some singers too, your daughter and your grandchild.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
talk about you growing up in church and singing. How did you get to be internationally known? How did all this happen going beyond the gospel side?
It was all God. And I'll tell you how he made it happen. I was living in Illinois and I was working with a young man by the name of Reuben Lightfoot from Chicago, Illinois. A great artist, musician, songwriter in his own right.
Hmm.
And he was a part of the workshop. And I came in with one of my friends that was already a part of Reuben Lightfoot's group. And um, I sang with Reuben and I went to the workshop for the first time. And he introduced me to Mr. Clean, whom we all love and adore
Richard.
on the
Richard
Hmm.
gospel
White.
side.
Richard White, yes.
And he had a song that he wanted someone to sing, and he hadn't placed anyone at the music workshop, which was my first time coming.
Mhm.
And my sister had sang the year before with the gospel music workshop and invited me to come. So that was my confirmation when Reuben asked me to come. And that was the first time I sang for the gospel music workshop in Cincinnati. What a wonderful love with Mr. Clean.
Wow.
And from there, I met Reverend James Cleveland, and he invited me to the board meeting. And I was sitting there in the audience, and he said, I got a young lady in the audience. He said, you all may not know her now, but mark my word, she's going to be a household name.
Hmm.
And you're going to know that she came from right here, the Gospel Music Workshop of America. And this is what we do.
Right.
And I had the opportunity to go up. And then from there, I was able to sing on other projects with the Gospel Music Workshop. And then the last song I did with the workshop was a song I recorded in St. Louis with Donald Lawrence.
Yes. Donald Lawrence.
And that song happened to be, if I can't say a word, can I just wave my hand? And going into that particular recording, was so rewarding for me because it was my life uh, coming in a circle because my grandmother was one of the church psalmists.
Hmm.
You could say my father's mother. And before the pastor would preach, he would always call my grandmother, Miss Lou, to sing the sermon hymn. And she would get up. She was one of those that wouldn't use the mic, just stand up, put her hand on her hip,
Flatfoot.
and just sing from the bench. And one of her favorite songs was, "If I can't say a word, I'll just wave my hand."
Jesus.
And of course, you know the church would join in
Yes.
after that. So when I had the opportunity to record that different version that Donald Lawrence put together, it was a full circle for me because the music changed, but the message
Come on.
stayed the same.
Come on.
So it was a blessing in itself for me to have that moment, for Reverend Cleveland to allow me that opportunity. It gave life to my career because after that, I went on to do theater with Donald Lawrence. And the first theater show I did was in Cincinnati, and had an opportunity to do it there. And then a scout came in and took it off Broadway. And that was the beginning of my theatrical career. Following that, I went to Sounds of Blackness to do a theatrical project. Of course, you know, Sounds of Blackness was also a theatrical company as well as a choral ensemble. So I went in first with Sounds of Blackness to do theater,
Hmm.
and ended up being there when Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis decided to do a gospel project on their first label to honor God for all that He done in their lives. And Sounds of Blackness and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, they were all friends in the community because Minneapolis was such a small African American community. So from there, they came to the show, and I ended up staying after the Christmas show I did with their group initially to do music for Martin Luther King all the way to January. And they brought Janet Jackson to the show, and she was just overwhelmed by the music of Sounds of Blackness, singing the music for Martin, all the civil rights era songs, the marching songs. And she said, "You guys got to sign these people." She said, "There's nothing like this out in the industry, and we need it right
Come
now."
on.
So when they did their first label, Sounds of Blackness was one of the first acts they signed, and thus came the evolution of gospel.
Optimistic.
So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna ask you this question. Um, I don't think that as many times as I've seen you, either I'm gonna say in person because you'll be on the stage. I might be way fanning out back there,
Right.
or on TV. You always have a smile.
Yes, she does.
My question to you is: besides Jesus, what always puts this smile on your face that you are always in a seeming to be in a great place?
Hmm.
I have to say, my husband and manager, Mr. Timothy Lee,
He's
and
amazing.
my family, because we all work together.
Mm-hmm.
And if one is doing something, we're there to support that one. But my husband, Mr. Timothy Lee, he has been with me throughout my career and helping make business decisions and keeping the train on the track.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, creatives can be kind of crazy sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But when you have someone that loves Jesus
Mm-hmm.
more than they love you,
Come
then you
on.
know they treat you right. So it evens out, and we're able to argue, and he can be my husband, and my husband. We just have to differentiate after the argument is over.
Right.
So let me ask you this question, because most of the time I'll start off with I got a rumor about how y'all met, but I'm not going to even do that with y'all about how y'all met. Can you tell us how did Mr. Manager husband find you, and give us the scene how it all took place?
Well, I have to say it was at church.
I was gonna say
Mm-hmm.
that.
It was at church because we were doing a district choir. The city the Illinois State District was doing a concert, and I was on the musicians board, and I directed part of the choir, and I also played for my father's church. And Tim was playing for one of the churches that my father was responsible for, his pastor being at his church. So we all were connected through music, and we were in a rehearsal. After a rehearsal, the musicians were meeting and trying to find out where we were going to go eat so we could talk about things. And uh, my husband came up to talk to one of his friends that was one of the musicians, and he says
Yeah, he
that
said.
I hugged him
Mm.
a little bit too long for it to be a sister and brother Tim hug.
It was the anointing.
And it was an anointed hug
Come on.
that caused him not to be able to walk away ever
Right.
again.
Yes.
She touched me.
See, see, when God is in the midst, he works it out in all kind of ways.
That's what the man said. That's what he said. I don't know. That's what the man said.
But we gonna go with that. That's a good one.
And you know the funny thing about it is that I love these stories
Yes.
because a lot of, especially our young people, don't think that they can truly find love in their soulmate within the body of Christ. And so when we hear these stories about, yes, I met at a rehearsal, you know, it gives hope for these young people to say, maybe I should continue to play in the church, or maybe I should stay hang around
And not run to the clubhouse.
don't go to the
Yeah.
clubhouse.
Because you get a club or you don't get a club.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? You know.
How about that?
Yeah, so how about this? So we're talking about husband, and he's amazing. He's an amazing manager. That's all Robert could talk
Yes.
about. I want to talk about your child and your grandchild
Woo, that
that
daughter
can
that
sing, too.
you have launched into this industry.
Absolutely. My daughter, Miss Jamesia Bennett, who is now leading for Sounds of Blackness
Yes.
and taking over, doing the songs that I led for the group, and helping to guide the young chapter that Mr. Gary Hines always talked about, that our children will be the next generation of Sounds of Blackness. So apparently they're there because I see them in leopard skirts and
Right.
hot leather mini skirts, and I said, "Ooh, that's not the Sounds of Blackness of old. That's new. That's new wine. That's
Right.
new wine."
Right.
So my daughter now is singing all my songs with the group, and then she's been really blessed to have written songs for the group for their new project as well, and kind of stepping right along and taking over and working with Gary and bringing on the new chapter just as he spoke into existence. And my granddaughter Paris
Yes,
is
ma'am.
walking definitely after doing American Idol. She is now stepping into theater and traveling, doing theater, which has become her second love. And she is working on. She just finished doing Ain't Misbehaving,
hmm
and she's going to be in New York doing a version of The Wiz.
Wow.
And my daughter as well is in theater in Minneapolis.
Mhm.
At the moment, while we're speaking, she's doing The Beauty and the Beast,
Mm.
initiating one of our younger family members, uh, 9 years old, that just came into theater with this new show that my daughter is doing. Mr. Cameron Graham,
Mhm.
you'll be hearing from him. He'll be out there real soon. And they're stepping right into theater. So God has been really, really good to be able to bless those coming behind me to step into their gifts and to be able to share their gifts with the world. And I'm really excited at what God is doing right now in our lives.
Can I ask you a question? And this is just a rumor, and you can just help me
You
out.
always got a
You know,
rumor.
our program director's on there asking, "What about a new project?" We got everybody asking questions, but I'm gonna ask my question first, and this could be a rumor. You can help me out with it. Is it true that you might be shopping a show At Home with Ann Nesby and the family, where everything happens in the kitchen, where you cooking and y'all talking. And is that true? Is there a show out there like that?
Well, I heard that there was some talk that we would be whooping up some food and inviting guests in and having them to come in and eat and talk and sing. And it won't be long. When I finish the tour,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
we're gonna step home and eat some food and relax right at home
Mm-hmm.
and gather around that grand piano when we get finished eating and kind of work off some of that food that we
Yeah.
cook.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I hear faithfulness as you're talking in
Faithfulness.
my spirit. Faithfulness,
Mm-hmm.
faithfulness, faithfulness. God is blessing your seed because of your faithfulness to your father. Many
Yeah,
times you could have left and gone other places, but you were faithful. And these young people that are watching all across the country, you have to know that God rewards faithfulness.
absolutely.
If there are doors that's
Absolutely.
going to come open, it's not going to leave you because you didn't take the first thing that was offered to you.
Absolutely. Because the word of God says you have to be faithful over a few things,
Come on.
and then he'll make you rule over many. And
Mm-hmm.
you have to learn how to follow before you can really be a good leader.
Yes, ma'am.
And follow. My mother was, we called her our gospel cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
As we were coming up in church singing, because she knew just what to say
Hmm.
when we would get up to sing. And she would sit right on the front and she would scoot up. And when we started singing, she said, "All right, now let us hear you now. Let's hear you now. Sing in the mic."
Right.
And then she would say, we started singing, and she said, "All right, come on up now." If it wasn't right where she needed, "Come on up now." She said, "Let us hear you now." Start getting good. And then she would say, "All right, stay right there. Stay right there."
Right. You didn't hit it.
Yeah, hit it. Stay right there. Stay right there. All right, come on. So she would do the same thing to my father when he was preaching.
Mm-hmm.
Said, "We hear you now. Now
Mm-hmm.
make your round. Make your point."
Mm-hmm. So, so let me ask you this question. As the person that you are, I would imagine everywhere you go, everybody wants you to be mommy, auntie, best friend. How do you navigate so many people just wanting to be in your energy?
I think um, if you're real, if you're real with everybody you meet, then you don't even have to navigate anything because it all falls natural. And I've said it before, it doesn't matter where I am, whether it's the man, the garage parking attendant, whether it's the kitchen help. They take us through the kitchen so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I get a chance to speak to them and appreciate them for what they do. And I speak to everybody because you never know who's going to be who the next time you have an opportunity to come that way
Come
again.
on.
And if you have friends in every area, when you don't have to make friends when you get there,
Mm-hmm.
and you keep your bridges, you don't tear down your bridges,
Come on.
and you use the network and just be right because it's right. Treat
Mm-hmm.
people right because it's right, and how you would like for them to treat you. And I learned a wonderful thing being with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis about having artist freedom. And they talked about the fact that some people cause themselves to be prisoners uh, to the music. But if you came up in the church and you're accustomed to singing with people that you could get up on Sunday morning and Sister so and so could sing you under the bench,
Come on.
then it's not hard to be grounded because it's not a competition.
Mm-hmm.
It's being able to enjoy the gifts of
Yes.
others and to appreciate people for what they do and just being a part of the body.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And to jump on what she's saying, it's funny because when I told Yolanda Adams and Will Downing and Jumpy Key you were going to be our guest, and they all spoke very highly of you and talked about how much they love you. So
I love them too.
your character and your integrity has preceded you. And that's very, very important when you're representing music, period. I'm not just going to say gospel
Yes,
because you're
yes,
one of those artists who is just music. And music
Mm-hmm.
is universal and it's universal language.
Absolutely, because we have music is, as we say, the background to our lives.
Mhm.
And we have music. We talk about love, and we talk about relationships,
Mhm.
and being able to stay in them. It takes love.
Yes.
Yeah.
And God
Now,
is
now,
love. We
and
represent
And
him.
God is
it,
love, and you. I say so much. We can't. We not jumping in there. Being adults when
mhm.
we're married off and doing our thing in
Mhm.
there to Jesus keep me near the cross.
Come on.
Mhm.
Somebody did something right with Luther
Mhm.
and Aretha and Patty
And
had
Peebo.
the background.
Right.
Mhm.
So, but my writing came from being able to talk about loving relationships and things that you go through in
Mhm.
relationships. And I was always of the realization that whatever you do from the heart will reach the heart.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Uh, and I would tell my children, be true to yourself.
Mhm.
And I mean, you can't do any better than that. When you give your best, and one of the things my mother would always say as well, when you go up to sing, if it's before two,
Mhm.
give them the same thing you would give if it's 2,000,
Come on.
Mhm.
because you don't know who God has sent to be blessed by the gift He gave you,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we're blessed to be a
You're
blessing.
blessed. You're blessed.
Now I want to say that I don't have any big names to drop that say that I called to tell you it's going to be on.
Oh, God.
You know,
Jesus, help us, Lord.
but when I told Pookie
Oh,
and
God. And,
Shaniqua
and
and
Shaniqua.
and Mama Dib that you was going to be on, they're like, no, not Miss Nesby. No. but
Lord,
but
help us, Jesus.
one of the things that a lot of people are stating is that you actually introduced them through Sounds of Blackness to gospel music,
Yes.
Yeah.
and that literally ushered them into wanting to find out more. And I think that it's amazing for you to say that Janet Jackson was in the audience and she's like, "Y'all
Mhm.
need to sign
Oh,
this. There
yeah.
ain't nothing else
Mhm.
out there like this." And
Mhm.
how does it feel to be? And I'm gonna use this word correctly, an icon in the industry, knowing that you have helped build the fabric of gospel music and Christian music.
Um, I like to say that I am so grateful that God chose to use me in this hour. Um, and sometimes when you've been in the music business a long time, sometimes you in the flesh, you can get to the place where you be like, oh, I gotta go. I'm gonna sing this song. I've been singing this song. I've been singing this song forever, and
Hmm.
this, and God brought it to my attention. You know, you you are a little girl from the projects
Hmm.
that's traveled the world carrying the message
Come on.
to a people that they do something that they can't even get to see me or enter in the kingdom except they believe.
Come on.
Mm,
And it jars you when you realize, Lord, you're right.
mm-hmm,
Because I've been around the world singing, I believe.
I believe.
mm-hmm,
And as he began to minister to me and reflect on the words, it is word. All miracles and dreams are realized for us through faith,
Faith.
and nothing is impossible
mm-hmm.
when you believe.
Come on.
Amen.
Nothing is impossible. So entering into the kingdom is not even impossible when you believe.
When you believe.
And,
Amen.
and you have to be able to establish that belief. And you have to be able to hear it before you can believe it.
Yes.
So for God to have allowed me to take that journey and carry that word, to even represent the United States,
Hmm.
singing I Believe,
Mm-hmm.
and also singing the national anthem at a time um, where he said, I'm first. He said, but I'm going to have you to represent this because
Mm,
you're mine.
Wow.
So all that ties into understanding who you are in God.
mm-hmm.
because, like I said, we're blessed to be a blessing.
Amen. Amen.
Yes.
I'm just grateful that people get it, that what's from the heart reaches the heart,
Hmm.
and praying about every situation, every facet
Come on.
of your
Come
business,
on.
not just including him when you think you about to do something big, but on every little thing, every
Hmm.
detail.
Hmm.
What I should wear for this?
Yes.
How should I do? Can you prepare the hearts of men to receive me before I get there?
Come on.
Hmm.
Tell me what to say, what you want me to say, what you want me to
Mm.
sing.
Yes.
All that's important,
Hmm.
because if I feel like if the creator created this situation for me, he knows how to take care of me in that situation, because he's the one that's going already predestined me to be there.
Yes.
And
So
I do want to say, what since you
Jesus.
said, Lord, what shall I wear and everything else, I didn't even want to talk about how fabulous you look in them earrings,
In
Miss
in the
Nesby,
morning.
in
In
the
in the
morning.
morning.
you
In
I'm
the
like,
morning.
yeah, she's fabulous.
Right. And Miss Ann, I appreciate you allowing God to allow you to expand your horizons, because being a gospel artist and being on radio, we let people box us. I'm
yes.
glad that you didn't let the church folk who ain't never been outside their doors stop the vision that God have for you, because many
Yeah,
are called but few are chosen,
that's
and
right.
God chooses those like you and Yolanda and Mary and Kirk
Uh-huh.
to go beyond the gospel
Yeah.
arena because you guys can handle it.
That's, well, following God's word, to go out into the highways and the hedges and to
Compel.
compel
Come on.
men
Come on.
to sow seed so God can give increase.
Come
Hmm.
on.
I mean, those that are in the four walls that have come to church, you already have a means, and you have a lane to get there. But God has blessed, as you said, people like Yolanda and Mary, and so many others, that Kurt Franklin, and so many great gospel singers, uh, that God has allowed to
Hmm.
be able to come to the level of young people, to be able to kind of drop that message on their ear,
Hmm.
and so that for their hearing,
Hmm.
so that God can touch their hearts,
Yes.
and their lives are changed. And it's just, you have to count it a blessing,
Hmm.
to be used
Come
by
on.
God. He
Come
can
on.
use anybody.
Come on.
Hmm. So,
He can use anybody.
so I want to ask this question. Word on the street is that you will be coming through San Diego
Yes, she
on this
is.
tour.
Yes, she is.
And
I
I just
will.
want to just let you know ahead of time, that your nephews in San Diego are ready to spoil you. What you want
Her
to,
and Tim,
yeah,
come on
yeah, what
down.
y'all want to
Well, I'm
eat.
ready.
What y'all want to eat. We gonna bring it. We gonna be at the back door. We here for Miss Nesby and her husband. That we brought them some tacos El Gordo.
Right, or something.
Well, we're sure gonna be eating them too, and we're gonna be looking for you.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
brother Tim, I was gonna meet you guys in LA, but
Uh,
Tim said we're coming to San Diego too.
Yes,
I said,
yes,
oh. So our
so
yes,
station want to find a way
we're
to
gonna get the
promote it or
promoted
market
and
it or
everything
something for
else.
you all.
So
absolutely.
So I gotta ask this question because
Ask it.
it's just uh us and your two
Come
nephews
on, ask
together.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell us the secrets. What's coming up next? I know you got something on the
On the
cooking
burner.
stove
Come
on the
on.
burner.
Well, listen. I got, of course, like you said, I'm doing the Tina Turner musical, and I won't be finished with that until September
Hmm.
of 23. But of course, like you said, we got to have the cooking program in mind, and
Hmm.
also I have a new food line uh, that is coming out, that will be served to the schools and possibly colleges. It's called the Soulful Casserole,
Mm.
Wow.
because I developed this product when I was recording and doing studio work and trying to feed the family, and my boys were playing football, and I was trying to give them a balanced meal. I said, and I tricked them into liking black eyed peas
See?
Mm.
because it was convenient, and ended up with a just a whole casserole that they loved and were requesting. And then my friends started requesting it. And when I would go on tour, I would cook it, and everybody would be wanting the recipe. I said, "Well, wait a minute,
All right.
let me see if there's another blessing." Ooh wee!
Come on,
Mm.
come on.
See, I like that because when we started our record label 27 years ago, we had a thing called the welfare burrito, and
Oh
and
yeah.
and the welfare burrito still stands strong to this day.
All
Come
right.
on through.
All
Come
right
on through.
now. Nothing wrong with a welfare burrito
Yeah,
now.
oh,
No, ma'am.
it'll take you through.
Right, right.
Don't mess around and have a welfare turkey burger.
Oh, watch out now. Watch out.
Come on through. Come on through. Let's bring her through.
Yeah. So one of the things that we're really excited about is that this younger generation is tapping into our older generation, the people that have been around.
Established.
Do you have any collabs coming on with some of these young artists? Because I could see some collabs with you and some of
Her and
these other.
Fantasia. I would see her and Fantasia.
Ooh, I absolutely do. Now I absolutely love Fantasia. I follow her because she's one of my favorite. Definitely. And I'm getting ready to do working on a new project. And I think one of my first collabs, B Slade is going to be working with me on a new project. And I have some other little jewels coming along that we will be working on my project. So I want you all to look forward to it because I know you all will know what to do with it.
Oh, yes, we
Yes,
will.
we will.
And Beast Lady is San Diego born and raised and bred.
Hmm. Now I have to speak for the program director. She been on all morning, and she been talking about she's still rocking certain projects. Your Martin Luther King project. She said almost all the Ann Nesby projects. The Sounds of Blackness. She got all in rotation, and so a lot of the
Oh,
folks, especially in the San Diego area, have been a
Yes.
fan for quite some time. And we're praying for
oh
you
my
that
goodness.
God continues to keep you and your family
Yep.
healthy and strong. We thank God for
Thank
your
you.
husband
Yes, he's
because he
wonderful. Wonderful
represents you.
representation.
And I love that because as a person, my wife is also in the industry and we're in the industry together. It's so good to
Yes.
see that other couples
Hmm.
in the industry, and you still got a smile on your face. So I know that Mr. Tim is doing a good job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. And he's right here. He's always right here. Come on
Yeah,
in
put him
and
put
say
him on.
hello
Put,
to
put,
the
put him on.
Put him
Put him
on.
on.
He's right here.
Let's see.
I put him on the spot.
Yes, come on, Tim.
Come on in and say
Listen,
hello.
Yes.
come on in the room.
The stop.
Look at
Hey,
this handsome gentleman.
how y'all doing? What's
We
going
Man,
are
on?
fabulous.
Y'all
you are awesome. Thank you so much for even reaching back out to me. James Greer, our mutual friend, talked about
Yes.
you because I said I want to get Ann Nesby on here, and I reached out to you, and you were so nice and so professional. You don't find that with managements, gospel, secular, or any other genre of music. So thank God that you are representing her and your family in a great way because niceness is just niceness.
Well,
Not
thank you all. Thank you all. And I appreciate you all following up with me because out here on this tour, it's a lot of plates juggling at the same time.
Mm.
And y'all was on it.
I wasn't giving
Well,
up.
well, I got a question to ask you since we got you on. So when Miss Ann had to hug old brother on Queen Sugar, was you on the set saying, okay, that's enough? That's about
It's
it.
too close.
You know what? I had my hand on my knife for a minute.
I knew he had a fighting spirit in him. I knew he had a
And
fighting
then,
spirit in him.
and then I came back to reality.
everybody believe that stand on their head because he was over there talking about, yeah, stand right there, stand right there. Because you know he the manager, so he was like, go on, eat the cake, anime.
Yeah. And then he got confident. He said, "She know what she coming home to. She
Right.
all right."
What she
That's all
say?
right. That's all right. This is just for television.
Right. She said, I'm still wearing your name," which is one of my favorite songs.
You
Yes.
know what was funny is a lot of my friends and people that know us, they would call. They like, "Did you want us to come and see him?"
She's
So
just
what you
acting.
were saying earlier that it was so real.
Right.
They was calling me, asking me, talking about, "You want me to come and do something to him?" I said, "No,
Daddy, I don't know if we like this one.
leave that man alone."
Leave that man alone. He making his money.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, we want you to know that we love you all, and
We will see you
sometimes
soon.
we get emotional
Look
because
forward to it.
when we see couples
Yes.
and literally navigating this industry and they're doing it together
With
and
integrity.
you guys are so sweet, you're so kind. It blesses us
Yes.
to be able to just continue to push anything that we can do to support. So we want you to know in San Diego you have a home. Anything
Thank
that
you
we can
so
do when
much.
Thank
you
you.
guys come
We're
this
gonna
way.
make sure you have our schedule
Yes.
for when we get there,
Yes, ma'am.
so we can be together, hang
Yes.
out,
Yes, ma'am.
and finish our conversations.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
We will definitely be there.
So your
And-
husband sent us a song, and if I'm right, it's Joy that we're gonna play today.
Joy,
Yeah, we're gonna drop
It's
this
a
on the
remix.
folks. We're gonna drop this on the
sorry.
folks, and I know Rob, I'm gonna give you the final word.
We just want to say that we were just so thankful for both of you. You are God's
Thank
gift
you.
to this industry because you are integral. Don't find that all the time, and that your hearts just permeate to all of us. We feel like we've known you for 50 million years.
yes, I feel like you have as long as I've been singing.
So
Well-
thank you so much, and this is to be continued.
To be continued.
Absolutely, I so look forward to seeing you.
Thank
Yes.
you so much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to this wonderful interview with none other than the great Ann Nesby
And Mr. Tim Lee.
Yes, Tim Lee. He gave us a cameo shot. We appreciate you all.
Yes.
And he
Okay,
gave
I'm
us
gonna
his
get
great
out now.
music.
Yeah.
And this is Joy right here on GOD Radio 1.
.com.
Thank you all.
Bless you.
Thank you.